Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager 23 Career Mode. We're going to Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. So here we are, ready for the next race. Again, disappointing in Spain, just lacking in pace. Not quite where we need to be yet. We do have some new upgrades on the way, but I don't think we'll be able to put them on the car for Canada. We might well be looking at the race after that, which I think is Austria. Yeah, let's take a look first of all. You can see we've got some action required in terms of our car builds. We are missing a chassis, another rear wing, and a suspension off of Lewis's car, and his gearbox took an almighty whack as well. So that's gearbox number 2, pretty much done and dusted on Lewis's car. He's had some pretty rough luck in the last few rounds. Let's go ahead and replace the parts with what we can. So we'll start off with chassis. We don't have any of the new chassis yet. So for now, we're going to go ahead and put on the original Mark 1 chassis. Why is that still saying... Oh no, wait, we have got enough. Okay, install, we've got 2. So we can go with the Mark II chassis. Okay, that's cool. Rear wings, let's swap out a rear wing. We've got one that's failed, so we've replaced that one, and then we're going to install onto car 2, and now we have no spare rear wings. So we are manufacturing some, well, no spare of the current spec. We've got the older spec, but we are manufacturing some additional rear wings, I believe. I think I put that in last night. And let's do the suspension as well. So we've only got one of the new Mark IIIs, but we have got 2 of the old Mark IIs. So let's go ahead and put on a Mark II suspension. It's not as good as you can see, but you know, it's better than our starting suspension. And we've got an inspection failure on here as well to deal with the underfloor. There we go, that part has been replaced. So let's have a look. Car part development. We have chassis on the way. We've got 3 of them coming. It's going to take 27 days for all 3. We'll get one of the new chassis, I think. 2 in 16 days. The Grand Prix in 10. So yeah, that's not going to be possible. Rear wings. So we've got 2 rear wings coming before the Grand Prix, and then one on the day of, I think. No, that'll be the day after. 13 days is the day after. That's the Monday. And suspensions. We've only got one on the way. It's 3 days away. This is the Mark III suspension. Are we working on a new suspension right now? We are. It's only 4 days away. So yeah, we're going to hold off on that. This theoretically means as well that we'll be able to replace the Mark II suspension we put on Hamilton's car with the most up-to-date one. And then instead of making any spares from that, we can go ahead and just start building the brand new Mark IVs. Right, let's have a look at possible development. We could do with a new rear wing at some point. We're 20 days away from the next ATR period. I don't really want to start a big project until then. And as I say, we are starting to hit the upper limits of our budget as far as cost cap goes. So let's look at doing a chassis for next season, I suppose. Let's see. Cooling is going to be affected by 10%. And airflow is going to be affected by 30%. So let's get started on working on research for our chassis. So we're going to want to really focus on airflow, and we also want to try and boost our engine cooling a bit as well. Drag reduction would be nice. I'm going to take a little bit off that. Try and balance it like let's see, if we take a bit more drag flow off. If we look at something like that, we'll get a little bit of a benefit on drag reduction, not a huge amount. That will give us a little bit of research benefit on engine cooling, which will be affected, 10% reduction in expertise at the end of the season, and airflow 3%. That's yeah, that's what we'll try and do. So this is going to take 30 days. We've only got one engineer, so yeah, that's it. There we go. Our first research project of this season has been started. How you doing, Farah? How you doing, Halil? Yeah, hopefully we will have some better luck. It has been going against us a little bit recently. Right. I keep wanting to check our guys for points to see if I need to allocate them out. I'm so used to doing that. It's force of habit from last year. Let's check in with our pit crew. We've been making some mistakes recently with our pit crew. Very slow pit stops. So there's our training summary. We are reducing the chances of mistakes. They don't look that tired. I think we just got maybe a little bit unlucky. Both of Lewis's stops and one of Russell's stops were affected in Spain by errors. You know, our guys are pretty good. They're just, yeah, a little unlucky again, it would seem. Scouting is still going through. Facilities, we've got 5 million. There's not really much we can do in here at this stage. It's all too expensive. We are already working on the next team hub and next and final race sim upgrades, so that's good. Operationally, is there anything here that could do with some money? I think we might possibly just hold off on upgrading our facilities now for the rest of the season. Possibly, again, based on budget. So we take a look at our cost cap. We've only got 46.5 million remaining. We've already spent 80 million on our cost cap. Now that is mostly down to car part development. That counts for 60 million of the 80 we've spent. But you can see we've also spent 10 million on facilities. Not so much in, or 9 million on facilities, not so much in terms of the actual upgrades themselves, I don't think, but certainly in terms of the increased costs. That has helped push that figure up a bit. And emergency purchases, 7.6 mil. We really can't afford any more emergency purchases. If we've only got 46.5 million left, and we are almost certainly going to have to take new parts at some point this season, that's going to be another 15 million in parts. So effectively, we're working with a budget of around 30 million now for the rest of the season. So yeah, we really need to be careful on how we spend our money. I think there's nothing left for me to actually get going. So let's advance some time. Okay, let's go to car parts and let's install that on car 2. There we go. So if we do have a problem with the Mark 3s in practice, we've got the Mark 2s to fall back to. And we've got one for each driver there. That's quite nice. Low number of underfloors. Let's go to the warehouse and check. We don't have a spare underfloor anymore. Okay. We should probably go ahead and manufacture an underfloor or two. It's going to cost an extra couple of $100,000 to rush one. I wish I'd realised. I would have gone ahead and started manufacturing straight away. This is a circuit that needs a fast car, so I don't want to go into this breaking an underfloor and not having a spare good underfloor. So we will rush one underfloor. just gone on about how much we want to avoid spending additional money for no reason, and immediately we're spending additional money. Oh dear. Warning about suspensions. Yeah, we know about that. Suspension manufactured. We've already dealt with that. Let's advance time again. Yes, they really have upped the ante with the cost cap this time round. So the new Mark IV suspension is available for manufacturing. So let's go ahead and start building these. So we're going to go with 4 of those. This is probably going to be the last suspension that we make for the car. So no rush on these. Let's see, 20 days until the next Grand Prix. So we'll have 2 in time for Spielberg, and then the next spare will be available on race day at Silverstone. Yeah, it's not ideal, but yeah, we'll be patient with them. We have to be at this point. Alright, upgrade complete to the Tour Centre. We'll continue. That is the last upgrade we're putting on that. There is the new underfloor. So, hopefully this will give us a nice big boost. No manufacturing slots left. You can see that's going to give us a nice big boost to speed. It's going to give us some downforce. It's going to improve our dirty air tolerance. Even going to boost our acceleration slightly as well. That will be worth an extra jump on the grid, and it's going to improve our weight as well, I think. So yeah, we'll have to wait. Let's see, car part development, manufacturing. We're going to have to wait 2 days until this manufacturing is done on the spare underfloor, and then we can start building the new one. New front wing design is ready. Wow, they're all dropping. Manufacturing complete. So now we can go to car parts. Now we can start building these. Let's have a look. It's going to take 11 days, 22 days. So we're not going to get these in time for Spielberg. We will get them in time for Silverstone. And then a third one will take 29 days in total. So 37 days to Budapest. That's not quite going to make it, but that'll be okay. Again, this is probably going to be the last underfloor we build this season. I think we're probably going to start focusing on research from this point on. Maybe one big final upgrade for the car. Probably a rear wing. Let's see. So those are now into manufacturing. Do we have a slot available for the front wing? Not yet. Got to wait 8 days until the spare rear wings are done. Okay. How many front wings do I actually have left on the old stock? I got 4, so I got 2 spares, and I've got 5 of the originals as well. So yeah, that should be enough. Right, underfloor complete, front wing complete. We know about those. Race prep. It is now the day of the Grand Prix. So let's set our objectives. Let's check our car performance against the rest of the grid. So we're now 9th in speed, 15th in acceleration, 9th in DRS, 7th and 10th in cornering, 8th in dirty air. Brakes and engines aren't great. We've got a very light car compared to the rest of the grid. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, we need these upgrades that we're queuing up to build, because we are starting to slip down the rankings. Given that we're going to be slightly more conservative, I think, with our targets, so we should be able to get into the top 8. I think that should be fine. Both cars into Q3, only one into Q2. That's a really piss poor incentive reward there, just 58 grand. Fastest laps, the incentive, I am going to say 2 in the top 10. Like I said, we're going to be a little bit more conservative here. The incentive here is 1 in the top 6 for 5 races. That is manageable, I think. Quali guarantee, we're going to again be slightly conservative. We're going to go 2 in the top 10 for 5 races for an extra 2.2 mil. Right, there we go. That's our incentives done. How you doing, Sam? Good to see you. Let's take a look at Montreal. There is the circuit map split up by sectors. You can see the DRS activation zones and the DRS detection zones. That's 01 and 02. So there's the sections by speed. All flat out apart from a low speed chicane. Again, I don't agree with this. The low speed chicane, I would say, should be the hairpin, and then the hairpin, that should be low speed, and then the chicane itself should be medium speed. I don't agree with that at all. Everything else, yeah, kind of agree with, except again, the acceleration out of turn 2. It's all marked as green. Yeah, it's flat out kind of acceleration from there, but it just doesn't look right. I think these need a little bit of work. Let's take a look at expected strategies. One stop is the main one by the look of it. Softs to hards or mediums to hards. There is the option for a soft, hard, soft strat, which means that we can probably convert that to a soft, medium, soft. Hell, we might even be able to go medium soft or soft medium. We shall see. Right, to the Canadian Grand Prix.
Formula One has arrived here in Quebec, and we're excited to get underway. On a man-made island in the heart of Montreal is Canada's Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. This unique track circles the outline of the Ile Notre Dame, giving plenty of challenges to our drivers between the tight corners and a long final straight. Gilles Villeneuve is a quick, free-flowing circuit in parts, with a stop-start aspect thrown in for good measure around the chicanes and hairpin bends. Medium-speed downforce will play a large part in avoiding the wall of champions and ensuring success at this iconic track.
Red Bull have outscored their rivals to be at the top of the constructors' table right now. But there are a lot of contenders and plenty of races still to go.
Let's get this underway.
Okay, oh, we got a wet race. Now that makes things a little bit more interesting. How you doing, Mr. Water? 53 days until Bahrain. What's the best parts to design to get quicker? Probably a rear wing or an underfloor, depending on where you need the speed and how much downforce you need. Right, let's... do I want to put Mick in for this Grand Prix? No, I think not. I think we'll stick with George and Lewis for this one. We'll look at Mick in Austria. That's as close as he's going to get to a home Grand Prix. It seems Germany's not on the calendar and hasn't been for a while now. Let's start with the hard tyres, maybe. Let's go back and check the weather. It's dry today. It's going to rain on Saturday. So, yeah, we'll start with the hards. Right, car parts. Let's take out the good stuff, put in the worn stuff. Yeah, get a little bit more out of that gearbox. Might be able to complete this practice sequence. We're looking at 21 laps for Montreal for a single run. Driving plan is set for Lewis. Let's swap that over as well, so the gearbox may as well stay in the car. We'll change the engine. Let's change the ERS. There we go, and let's have a quick gander at gearboxes as well. We'll go with the older gearbox. We'll finish that one off. And again, 21 laps. And drop the pace. There we go. Right, setup time. So, again, first time here at Montreal on the new game. So we're going to refer to last year's notebook. So, we're going to look at an 11.5 rear wing. We're going to go with a 3 on the front, a 2.8, a 3.3, and a 0.95. There we go. So that's Lewis's car set. Let's take a look at George's car. We'll go slightly different on this one. We'll go with let's see. Let's go with a 4 on the front wing and 11.5, a 1.9, a 3.25, and a 1. There we go. So that's our 2 cars set. We might need to change that to a 12 rear wing. We'll have to see. Based on how we do on our first run. I think everything is set and prepped. Let's just double check everything. Car parts have been swapped over. Yep, okay, we are good to go. Evening Zane. Am I going to do another race after this? No, 1 race a night. Okay, so let's send out Lewis. And now we're sending out George. And because this is such a historically good track for Lewis, we'll ride the ham cam for a lap in helmet view.
Hey, Phil, clear.
Left my window open and now I'm moths coming.
Avoid all curbs. Understood.
We'll just have some PU cooling.
Copy.
Really curious to see lockups into turn 1 because they were comically bad last time round. I really hope that that's been significantly improved this time around. Right, let's speed some time up. Interesting track map. Again, I don't like the water effect.
Just be mindful, pressure's still low.
I think they're onto a good idea with what they're trying to do with the maps. I just think that some of them have been poorly implemented, and this water effect it's awful. No need for that water to be moving. It distracts from everything because it looks as though it's a really bad overlay over the top of the water, which effectively it is. Yeah, static water would look better. But this one is so bright in the infield that it's really hard to distinguish anything.
Balance check.
Right, 87% starting setup for Lewis. Let's see what we get with George. Ooh, 69. Ugh. I know it's supposed to be nice when you get 69, but not in this not in this situation. Very much not nice. Definitely some work to do on that one. So that's definitely going to be a 12, I think, on the rear wing. Probably going to have to change the roll bar as well, quite significantly. I'm already thinking about swapping him to a 3.7 on the roll bar. So let's take a look at Lewis's car. That is going to need to change the rear wing. So we'll convert this to a 2.512. Oh, that's actually quite significant. Alright, so we'll go a 3.12, a 3.7, a 3.15, and a 0.65. That's the default. No, that's not going to work. So let's look at tweaking that slightly. Let's try that. Let's see how that works. And here comes George. So again, plenty of options in the book to choose from. We'll find something that looks okay. I'm going to go really extreme on this one. I have got a 4.6, which we're going to try, because that is quite a significant shift on the traction. And 4.6 is the most extreme. Well, I say the most. It's the most middling roll bar setup I've got in the book, which is a 2.5, a 12, a 4.6. A 3.05 and a 0.45. So let's see how that looks. Oversteer, that's maybe a little bit too much, maybe not. Braking stability looks good, restraints looks good, traction should be better. Cornering is about right, I would say. Let me maybe go to a 3 on the front wing. Yeah, I quite like the look of that. So let's try that. This might end up being almost identical to what we end up with Lewis's. Alright, so let's see how they do on this updated setup.
Surface temps are still cool all round.
We're going to get that from George in a second, probably. Oh no, apparently not. Those messages are supposed to have been reduced in frequency since the 1.3 patch, but I haven't really noticed a substantial drop-off on those at all. Closing in on feedback. Just take a look at car condition. Gearbox down to 7% and 8%. That's okay. That'll last through the next couple of sessions, I believe.
Power strong.
95% for George. Okay, big improvement there.
Hey, Phil.
And George agrees. 92 for Lewis, so a big improvement there as well. Still room to manoeuvre. Still more fine-tuning to be applied. Oh, that engine doesn't sound good. Sounds fine there, but yeah, didn't sound healthy at all on the run to the hairpin there. And session is over, so no tweaking until we get back to the main screen. Yeah, George coming a mile off with that engine noise. Okay, let's take a look at the setups. So, we are close. I'm going to go to a 3.5. That's saying that's incorrect. I'm going to go to a 2.8 again. Gonna try that just to have a look. I don't know if that's gonna be close enough. The other alternative is we go back to a 3.7 and then we try overcorrecting that way. That's not going to be a big enough change. Yeah, we're gonna have to go back to a 2.8 and let's try that. So there we go, we've got a 3.5, 12, 2.8, 3.2 and an 8. Let's see how that one goes. We will plan for a 28 laps should be enough, I think. 28 lap run. We're going to go mediums on both cars. Let's have a look at tweaking George. I don't know if that's going to be enough. We'll try it. Don't really want to mess with the front wing too much. There is a subtle change to the oversteer value. Braking looks okay if we've gone the right way. Traction looks okay if we've gone the right way. Cornering has gone the right way because it's the only way it can go. Yeah, let's see how that works. So again, we'll go 28 laps. Did we do Lewis's driver options? Yes, we did. All right, send them back out for practice 2. Oh, you deign to allow a decent Hamilton performance, do you? Truly, we are blessed. Farah's sitting there on his throne like Xerxes. I am a generous god. Alright, let's see if these tweaks are what we need. Really hope they are. It'd be nice to get the setup nailed before we go into the rainy practice 3. Well, actually, it might not be raining in practice 3. It might be dry in practice 3 and then raining in quali.
Copy that, we're looking.
We won't know until we get there. Lewis should theoretically have one of the highest, if not the highest, wet weather ratings in the game. but I don't think he does. Which is bizarre because, you know, I don't think anyone's been truly a Rainmeister since Schumacher, who was just amazing in the wet. But Lewis is pretty damn close, I think.
Yeah, let us know what your thoughts are.
Alright, so we're into the optimal window, and there we go, straight to 100%. Excellent, that's what we like to see. Let's see, can we do that with George? Not quite. Yeah, Schumacher was just amazing in the wet. Although every driver, you know, has... It's hard to say just how good someone is when they're the only one who's at a certain level. Schumacher didn't have a huge amount of competition in the wet. But he was, you know, phenomenal. Lewis, for a while, didn't have any real competition in the wet. He was the best. Now there is a bit more competition, so it's not quite so obvious. Verstappen's got very good in the wet over the last couple of years. But if you want to look at some of the truly great wet weather drives, I mean, I will refer you to Donington 1993, Ayrton Senna. Phenomenal performance. Taking an underpowered Ford-powered, I think it was a Ford-powered McLaren in 93. A car that really did struggle. He qualified 5th in the dry, came to the wet, and he was in the lead before the end of the first lap, and went on to win by about a minute, I think. Yeah, he was just on another level that day. He was insanely good. Took a terrible car and just made it amazing in the wet weather. Right, first setup for the book. So 3.5, 12.0, 2.8, minus 3.2, and a 0.8. There we go. So we've got our starting point for next season, at least for one of the cars. We do need a little bit more on Russell. Not too much more though. Let's try going to a 3.5, maybe go to a 2.5 actually. Did we have a 2.5 before? I think we might have had a 2.5 before. So let's go to a 3.5. And let's tweak that like that, and then we'll tweak that like that. And we'll see how we do with that. So, no more running in this session. Those are obviously changes that are prepped ready for the next session. But yeah, if you're looking for that Senna footage, it should be listed as Donington 93, but if it's not, Donington was officially the European Grand Prix in 1993. The European Grand Prix bounced around from race to race for a period in the 90s. So you had a Grand Prix at a specific circuit for its nation that was pretty much permanently there, but you also had a European Grand Prix that in some country, some races, some years was at one country, in other races, in other years it was at other countries. There was a year when Germany had 2 Grand Prix, where you had the German Grand Prix was at Hockenheim, and the European Grand Prix was at the Nürburgring. Same with Italy. You had the Italian Grand Prix at Monza and the European Grand Prix at what was called the San Marino Grand Prix, which was Imola. But yeah, the European Grand Prix in 1993 was Donington. Obviously Silverstone was the British Grand Prix. And it was just, like I said, one of the ultimate wet weather driving videos. Senna's Lap of the Gods, that might be, if that's not Donington, that might be referring to Monaco. His Monaco quali lap in 88, I think it was. Which I don't think there's any footage of. I think they refer to it, but they show footage of 89, but I don't know if there's any footage of 88, because I don't think they had a camera on the car in 88. Oh, 93 Donington. Yeah, Senna's first lap at Donington in 93 was just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Right, so we've made the changes. We're going to go on to soft tyres for this session. We might have weather, we might not. We won't know till we get into the session. Let's go with 25 laps of running. And we may be switching on to inters at some point. Yeah, for anyone who hasn't seen it, I highly recommend watching it, because it just showcases just how good Senna was when he turned it on. Right, it's going to rain almost immediately, so we're just going to wait until that rain hits. No point going out on softs only to come back in 2 laps time. So we'll put on a set of inters and we'll just wait for a minute or two until the rain starts. Iconic cars, yes. Wasn't the prettiest McLaren, but it was a decent looking McLaren. And obviously the Williams, just, yeah, supreme. Interesting story there. Alain Prost, I think, was racing with a 0 in that one, if memory serves me right. And there is a story behind that, because Mansell obviously won the title in 92, but had already had his contract ended. Well, his contract was not renewed by Williams, so he was already confirmed to be leaving, and not just the team but the sport. He went to IndyCar for the 93 season, and then went on to win IndyCar in 93 with Newman Haas Racing, and became the first and only driver to hold the F1 World Championship and the IndyCar Championship at the same time, because he won the IndyCar title before somebody was able to score enough points to win the F1 title. So technically he held both titles at the same time, and he's the only driver to have ever done that, because you don't tend to get a huge amount of crossover between the two. You get some here and there, but historically there hasn't been massive swap over between the two, or at least not successful anyway. So there were, not back in the time, cars were not given numbers based on their drivers like they are now. So Lewis is number 44, Max is number 33, Jacko's number 11, Russell's 67, Vettel was number 5. Those numbers are assigned to that driver for I think a period of several years, until several years after they retire from the sport. I think it's 4 or 5 years until they've gone, and then that number becomes free again. Might be less than that. How long's it been since Kimi Räikkönen retired? Because he was number 7, and that number's been reallocated to someone else now, I think, since his retirement. But yeah, anyway, so the I'll explain that in a second, Farah, what you're talking about on the sponsors. There's a reason for that. Prost came in 93 and was given a choice what number he wanted to be, and he chose number 0 because he said, "Who wants to be a number 2 driver?" Yeah, he didn't want to have number 2 on his car, so he didn't want to be known as a number 2 driver, because that's kind of how it was. You know, if a car finished, a team finished first in the championship, their cars were 1 and 2. Team finished second in the constructors, their cars were 3 and 4. And obviously, you know, that I think that's how it went. It was either constructors or drivers. I forget which way round it went, but obviously there was no number 1 because there was no Mansell. So Prost came in, chose the number 0 because he didn't want to be a number 2 driver, or was it he chose number 2 because he didn't want to be a 0? Who wants to be a 0? One of those two, I forget which one. It was one, but he specifically chose one of the numbers because he said he didn't want to be associated as either as a number 2, or he didn't want to be associated as a 0 because who wants to be a 0? And it was Damon Hill who ended up taking the other seat.
Just say what you'd like on the balance.
96% again. Okay, so let's call him in. Got some tweaking. As far as the McLaren shell, the reason it wasn't a Marlboro brand at the time was because sponsorship in Europe was getting to the point where it was being banned. Tobacco sponsorship was being banned. So that was the Marlboro colour scheme. You know, all cars that ran a Marlboro paint job ran the white with the red like that. That was just the Marlboro colour. But because of tightening regulations in advertising, tobacco brands were not allowed to advertise in European races. So Shell became the primary sponsor on the name, but they still received sponsorship money from Marlboro. They tended to run with like a barcode thing on the side instead of the name Marlboro. And they still ran the Marlboro colour scheme. It's the same with Williams. Williams still ran Camel, but without the actual Camel branding. So the yellow was still associated with Camel. Damon Hill was 0. Prost. Yeah, so there we go. Prost refused to take the number 0 because he said, "Who wants to be a 0?" I could never remember which way round because it's been what, 21 years since that was decided. As I started saying it, and it started to make more sense that he would refuse to be a 0 because who wants to be a 0? But yeah, Marlboro was still with McLaren through to the mid-90s, and then West took over. It's the same with Ferrari, though. Ferrari also had Marlboro sponsorship, I believe. But again, you would just see white flashes on the car. And then when McLaren had West, when they were racing overseas, they would have the West branding on the side of the car, and whenever they raced in Europe, it would say David for Coulthard's car or Mika for Häkkinen's car, instead of saying West. '93 would have been James Hunt and Murray Walker. At least for British commentary, anyway. I don't think Brundle took over till 96. 95. I don't remember exactly when. I do remember Murray getting very emotional on a broadcast, talking about his how much he missed his partner Hunt, his commentary partner, because they'd been together for a while, and how they used to hate each other at first, or he really used to hate Hunt at first when he was a driver because he was such a playboy, and but you know, as he got to know him more personally and spent time with him in the commentary booth, they grew to become, you know, firm friends. Okay, so there we go. Both our drivers going in with maximum preparation into this Grand Prix. 100% on parts, track knowledge and setup satisfaction. Which means both of our drivers will start quali with very high confidence.
We're moving on now to the all-important qualifying session.
The circuit Gilles Villeneuve isn't a permanent track, so circuit evolution is high over the Grand Prix weekend. Overtaking is possible, but getting a well-timed lap in qualifying will help any driver.
Now, Karun, how do you think Zhou Guanyu will be as he heads into this session?
Looking at the lap times, we saw a real lack of pace from them in practice. They never looked quite comfortable with the setup, and they'll need to try something new for qualifying if they want to get past Q1.
Strap yourselves in. This is Formula One.
So we've got moderate rain. Means we're probably going to run inters in this session at some point. We shall see. We need to swap out the parts before I forget. Got that gearbox down to just 2%. There we go. Good engine. Good ERS. And good gearbox. There we go. Let's do Lewis. So good engine. Good ERS. And yeah, gearbox number 3 for Lewis. Alright, hopefully one lap will be enough to get us through. We'll see. It also depends on the weather as well. It is going to rain. It's going to rain pretty quick, so let's go straight out. Got 5 minutes to get a lap in before the rain starts to fall. Going to ride on board with Russell for this. Cars still doing their weird obligatory slowdown as they come out of the pit lane at Montreal. We've got 2 cars between our drivers. We've got an Alfa Romeo and a Williams. And everyone's coming out. Look, everyone wants to get a time in before the rain hits. If we're lucky, we might actually catch the Williams by the time it gets to the back straight on the fast lap. Might just get a distant tow at the end of the lap with Russell. It's only Q1, which is why we're whizzing through at times 2. Russell going faster than Hamilton.
Currently P1.
So there we go, a 1:12.9.
Car box.
We weren't close enough to get the tow, and Russell's slightly slower in the final sector. Gasly's up there as well. Ocon's up there. Okay, it's very close.
We will box end of this lap.
I really hope. Well, we've done enough, I think. We've already got 5 cars slower than us, and if it rains for the rest of the session, which it's going to, then no one's going to go any faster than they're going right now. We could yet see a shock of a couple of big cars going out, potentially. There's a bit of traffic. Has everyone made it through? Perez yet to cross the line. He is going to be last and in clear air, so he should get through. Just coming up to the line now. Yeah, Perez goes second. So at the moment, looks like we're going to lose De Vries, Zhou, Bottas, Sargent and Piastri. I don't expect that to change. As I say, the rain is about to fall and is going to rain for the rest of the session. There we go, there is the rain. So I doubt we'll see any improvements from anybody.
So rain is imminent.
Okay, they're going out, and they're going out on inters. This is a gamble sitting here. Like I said, I don't expect anybody to improve. And nobody is improving. It's getting quite wet, actually. It's going to hit full wet conditions. So there you see, going above the line of grip. It's not a foregone conclusion, but usually if it goes above the grip line, it does indicate that it, you know, it's a possibility we may see full wet conditions. That's what's happened here. And then it dips down again below as it closes back on the line. But again, the track's not going to improve. Or not enough. So we're comfortably through. The Haas just squeaked through. And that is session 1 done. See if we're going to have a wet start to session 2. Oh yeah, full wet tyres. Okay. We will certainly look at changing that. We're going to go with 2 flying laps. I'm going to wait to see what the weather looks like before we actually send the drivers straight out. Okay, it's going to take a while to get there, so we're going to send out our drivers to do a couple of... yeah, I think full wets is probably just about right. It's going to be borderline. I think it's going to be a little bit too wet for the inters. It's going to be our first really wet quali. And there, still doing that weird slowdown. They did that last year there as well. It's very odd. That's what it looks like in 4mm conditions. Giving everybody motion sickness here.
All clear ahead. Good to go.
We have got a car coming out in front of Russell. Don't know if we're going to clear it.
All clear.
Don't think we are.
Good to go.
No, we're not. We're getting held up in turn 1. And really badly on the exit as well. That's Russell's first lap ruined. That's probably cost him at least half a second. And he's purple because nobody else has set a sector time yet. And there we go. Instantly beaten. Very easy to set purple sectors when you're the first one out on track. But this should theoretically give his confidence a nice little boost. There we go, it's almost at max confidence. second warm-up lap. And Lewis is 1.5 seconds faster, so it cost him more than half a second. Cost him at least a second. That hold up behind the Alpine there. So now we're going to play spoiler to the Alpine, I think, possibly. Maybe not. Let's see if that Alpine gets in the way of George as he starts his run. I think we should just about be okay. We'll be tight. Big speed difference here.
It's all clear ahead. And good to go.
There we go, starting the flying lap. We've got more traffic coming out of the garage again. This could be bad for George. It's going to be a very busy first sector. Oh, track condition is dropping rapidly. We might be on the wrong tyre for this run here. Oh, we're definitely on the wrong tyre now. But we have got high confidence now, so maybe we can improve. Yep, there we go. Purple. Hamilton goes purple. They're both right on the cusp of hitting peak confidence here. And there we go, peak confidence for Russell to finish the lap off. Even on the wrong tyre, we're still going faster than our previous runs, which is kind of good because it means that when we switch onto the inters, we're going to be able to attack with peak confidence. Same with Lewis. These times will get absolutely destroyed by the rest of the field if, yeah, they're on inters, so they're going to destroy our times, but...
So that's currently P1.
There we go, maxed out confidence for George. And Hamilton's slightly slower.
Okay, Lewis, so that's P2 at the moment.
But given the fact that the track's been getting drier and drier and drier, that's probably not that surprising.
Understood.
So, let's get back to the garage. Let's pull on some inters. And we'll go again with a 2-lap run.
Understood.
Not sure how long it's going to take us. So just making sure that we definitely get time to do 2 laps. And you can see how massively off the pace we are because we set those times on wet tyres on a track that is much drier. It's going to get drier again by the time we're on our second lap. It's going to be very low water level.
This is out lap normal.
Okay.
Alright, so this first lap, kind of important, but not overly important. It's the second lap that's going to be the important one. You can see we're attacking the lap with peak confidence for George. Track has just changed to dry. Oh, do I call the drivers in? I don't know what to do. I'm going to leave them out on inters. Because that water level could start creeping back up again. And this is about the limit that slicks can handle. And even then, they're not really as quick as the inters in these kind of conditions. So, yeah. Russell goes pole with a 1:17.0. He's got a cool down lap and then he's going to go again. What can Lewis do? 0.2 off. George on fire at the moment. Have I been able to ascertain whether or not the weather predictions are improved? Not yet. Don't have a particularly good weather centre. But I haven't seen anything truly egregious like we did last year. Not yet. But, you know, across my 3 different playthroughs that I'm running, this one, the Haas one, and the Red Bull on the PS4 version, this is as far as I've got. So, yeah, just not enough of a sample size to really ascertain exactly how accurate the weather sensors are. We'll find out more in due time. Magnussen goes a 1:14.5. We're 2.5 seconds off. 3 seconds off. Times are plummeting. Oh, they're on softs. Oh, no. We're on the wrong tyres. As long as we can get through.
So the circuit should be all clear. Good to go.
I don't know if we're going to be able to get through. Maybe I should have come in for those slicks. Oh, 9th and 10th. 10th and 11th. No improvement for Russell in the first sector. I think we're going out. Even if I'd boxed and not done the second lap, I still wouldn't have had enough time to get out and do a run on slicks. Yeah, I think this is us done. I think we're toast. Even on peak confidence and all the bonuses that peak confidence brings, I just can't see us being fast enough. No improvement for Russell in the middle sector. A little improvement for Hamilton. George getting held up by Ferrari at the hairpin. Oh, God. This is going to be our worst quali of the season. I completely completely underestimated just how much quicker softs were going to be on full push.
We will box end of this lap. Yeah, Roger.
Hamilton flying at the end. But again, it's not enough. We are comfortably out. That's painful. That's going to be a long Grand Prix now. Hopefully we can get our drivers into some good confidence pretty quickly in the race by having lots of slow cars in front of us to overtake. But yeah, that is painful. If we had no luck, if we didn't have bad luck, we'd have no luck at all. Lesson learned for the next time we have conditions like that.
Well, there's nothing quite like it. Welcome along to race day.
Named after the legendary Canadian driver, the circuit Gilles Villeneuve has been host to plenty of first-time winners. Jean Alesi, Lewis Hamilton, Robert Kubica and Daniel Ricciardo all got their maiden victories here.
At least from what you've seen in the paddock, Karun, how would you describe the mood in the Mercedes camp?
Well, it's maybe not exactly where they want to be, but generally they're still getting results. It'll be interesting to see what happens today.
And each team will be hoping that fortune is on their side. So bon chance to them and their drivers for this Canadian Grand Prix.
It's a wet race. Okay. Or it's going to be wet at some point in the race, if not the whole race. Let's take a look. It's going to start on softs, and then it's going to very quickly change. And then it's going to be inters, probably, for the rest. I don't know, it might stay. I think there'll be periods where inters might be necessary, but it theoretically could stay dry enough. So we're just going to program in a dry strategy. Right, let's have a look at the two-stop. And then we can just change on the fly to inters. Given the conditions, we're going to start on softs. Just wanted to see what a one-stop would look like. I might flip that round as well. Start soft and go soft to medium. So let's go soft, medium, soft. And that's only 2 seconds faster than it was originally. But yeah, it's only 2 seconds faster than the one stop. It's interesting. Let's have a look. Softs to mediums is slower than softs to hards. By quite a bit. Okay, so we're going to look at a soft to hard strat. And then we'll switch to inters at the point where we need to. I'm only going to take 3 laps out of fuel this time, not 4. Because I think that's possibly going to be a little bit too much. Actually, no, if it's a wet race. Let's just go 3. Let's not give our drivers too much to worry about. We are starting further down the grid, so we're going to go very aggressive. Yeah, there we go. And let's make a save now that we've programmed all that in, because there is that very real chance that the game might crash. So once again, it's time to hold on to your butts. Oh, we made it.
70 laps of the Canadian Grand Prix await our drivers here in Montreal. Our attention shifts to Lewis Hamilton and what he can produce in this race.
While 15th isn't ideal, they should be able to move forward in this race.
And it looks like we're good to go. The drivers are ready and raring to go. It's the Canadian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go.
Right, good start from Russell. Oh no, wait, that's Hamilton. Yeah, good start from Hamilton. Russell's actually gone backwards a spot. There we go, back to where we started, 14th to 15th. Although I think they've switched round. I think it was originally Russell that was 14th. Oh, there's a crash behind us. I heard the bang. You might have heard that yourself.
VSC. So Delta positive.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that in my headset. Logan Sargent doing his sex pest impression there.
And you can just feel the frustration from the team watching on the monitors.
I wonder if that's him out with the Grand Prix. He is. He's out. So, no positions gained, but we can immediately start saving some fuel, calm the tyres down a touch.
Yep.
With 3 minutes from rain.
I just don't think about getting the pack back up.
Yeah, depending on how long this safety car goes, I might box her in. I mean, if we box her into now, we're just going to tear them up. Plus, we don't know if that rain level is going to be high enough initially. That's quite a gradual curve, isn't it? I don't think it's going to be enough to warrant changing for the first 10 laps. So we'll stay as we are. You know, poor AI last year would help, but for the sake of the game, you hope decisions been improved. Yeah, same here. I mean, as helpful as it was very weird and very frustrating sometimes to see maybe the Red Bulls would just switch onto full wets when everybody else is on inters and then refuse stubbornly to come off them for the next 25 laps. Or it would be the Alpines would do it, or maybe the Aston Martins would do it. You always get one team that would stick both of their drivers on the wrong tyre and then just stubbornly stay on those tyres for way too long. So yeah, I hope that that's kind of been done away with. As helpful as it was, yeah, I agree. It would be better if that didn't happen this time round. Right, on the restart, we don't want our drivers fighting. We want to build confidence, not take it away from each other. We're setting personal bests behind a VSC. This is great. It means when we go back up to full speed, we'll be setting even more personal bests and gaining even more confidence. Rain's going to start in less than a minute.
So VSC ending.
Understood.
The rain is falling.
DRS enabled.
Lewis straight on the attack.
So let's get after it.
It's hammer time, Lewis.
Go for it.
Just show me what you've got then.
Coming.
Russell might have a run at Norris here in the background. He's lining up for a look into the chicane. I don't think he got alongside. Oh, he did, just. He completes the move. We're now lining up Sonoda.
And you are the fastest on track.
Ah, couldn't quite squeeze through. Theoretically as well, the conditions should help cool the tyres down more, so we could potentially push our tyres harder for longer. As we swoop past Sonoda, and is Russell going to try and follow him through? He might have a look at the inside of the chicane. The late braking lunge can't quite close the gap enough. So now we need to judge when we box really carefully. Russell gets by
Let's take a
Sonoda.
look at the replay. It was George Russell involved.
Lined him up at the
And they
chicane.
squeezed by.
Kept it out the wall of champions. And then just
That puts them in
claimed the
13th
position
place now.
on the main straight. So our drivers are making progress. Peak confidence for both drivers. That's good. We need the peak confidence to help move up through the field as fast as we can. You've got everything I can give you, Lewis.
So we are low on battery at the moment.
Probably time to ease these tyres down just a touch.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off a cliff on that tyre.
Let's just manage these tyres.
In fact, while Russell is stuck behind, let's get him into harvest mode. And let's do the same with Lewis as well. Once we get through this straight. See if we can at least get the Williams here. Nah, it's got the DRS.
So just charge that pack.
If Albon can get Magnussen, that will give us the chance for a run at Magnussen. And I don't think Albon's going to get him. I think we're going to be stuck like this for another lap. Rain is slowly inching up to 0.4 now. And still climbing. Getting close to the pit window.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up. Pick up the pace.
How you doing, running joke? Mercedes has been a tough play. Yes, I've seen quite a few people saying that Mercedes is one of the harder teams to actually start the game with because of the expectations of the board and how below pace the car is compared to the teams that you're in direct competition with. So, based on my experience so far, I would kind of have to back that up a little bit. I mean, I've got a Red Bull file going on the PS4 version, and that's just... Oops. It's not my TV remote over. That's been a cakewalk. Where the hell's my remote gone? There it is. Let's move that out of the way. There we go. Yeah, Red Bull's been really easy. 7 wins from 7 pole positions, 6 of the 7 fastest laps. But it's been tricky. We came within a couple of laps of getting our first Mercedes win at Monaco, only for a crash. 3 laps to go, ruining that. We've had a couple of podiums, but we haven't really looked like threatening for a race win apart from Monaco. And we've been burning through our budget in terms of upgrades quite dramatically as well. Right, is this a chance for Lewis? He's up the outside, it's going to become the inside. He's through. Lewis is through. Excellent stuff. Still not quite there yet for full wets. Sorry, for inters. But now we can try and get past the Haas here. Russell side by side with the Williams. Sells the Haas a dummy. Tucks back into the slipstream though. Haas is defending.
Let's just keep our heads down.
We got him here though. Russell is also through against Albon. Quite comfortably now actually. Could maybe make a run at Magnussen. Depends how aggressively Magnussen tries to fight this off. Oh, that was close. You can empathise with Toto a lot now. I haven't got to the stage where I've gone rah and smashed my headphones yet, but I came close at Monaco. Alright, there we go. Hamilton already onto the back of Gasly. Getting very close to the switchover window. We're out of battery again.
And just charge the pack.
Charge the pack.
Whoa! Whoa! What a lunge from Lewis. Wow. Just left him for dead. Got to see that one again.
Now we're with Lewis Hamilton here. They decide to give it a go.
It's amazing
And Lewis says, "Thank you very
the
much."
sort of moves your driver can do when they're at peak confidence. And we're up to 9th. And stop pushing the fuel now.
Increase in lifting.
There's going to come a point where we're going to have to start saving the fuel. It's not quite yet. It's not far off. let's put Russell into harvest mode now. Let's cool those tyres back down again. Let's take a look at the AI tyres as well. We've been pretty good on tyres. Despite pushing them quite a lot, our tyre weight's still pretty consistent, and that's Leclerc into the box, so we're going to react to that. We're going to bring Hamilton in. We'll leave Russell out for one more lap.
So box.
Ocon boxes as well.
And a box lap.
And all box for the Inter.
Alright, so full push for... we got a clean stop for a change, that's nice. Full push on tyres for Russell. He's going to box this lap.
Box.
Yeah, stop.
Okay, so we're behind Norris, who is yet to stop. How far behind Leclerc are we? We are 9 seconds behind Leclerc. That's not too bad. Russell just missing out on the DRS, I think. Oh no, we got it. Just
reduce your speed.
Both the cars in front boxed, as I expected them to do, as has the rest of the field in front of us as well. Clean stop. Not the fastest, had to wait a touch, I think, for a car coming in, maybe. We have jumped Gasly, though. Excellent stuff. Where's Lewis? There he is, right behind us. So staying out the extra lap actually worked out for Russell there. So we're now at 8th and 9th. Stroll yet to box. Let's ride with Stroll for a second. Verstappen is just eating that gap up. Yeah, with the track as damp as it is now, this has definitely backfired a little bit for Stroll. Let's see where he comes out. Oh, he's staying out still. Oh, okay. Now, yeah, this is an odd choice. Maybe he's banking on the track not getting much wetter than this.
Easy.
Yeah, don't sweat it. No, just don't think about getting the pack back up.
No DRS now. That's what will have allowed Gasly to get back in front of Hamilton. Would have been the DRS on the first part of that back straight, and then it hit 1 millimetre and that shut that down, which is what allowed us to stay ahead of Ocon. Stroll is still going, and Verstappen's already caught it. That was 3 seconds. We clicked away for what, 10 seconds just to take an eye on Lewis. Went back and that 3-second gap was gone. So yeah, this is This is kind of good in the sense that it's going to take Stroll out of contention a little bit. It's also slowing up Max a little bit. Not massively, but it all helps. Surely now. He's staying out. Okay, so we are seeing some odd AI behaviour. What's Alonso? He's got to be on Inters, isn't he? Yeah. Why is Stroll staying out? These tyres should theoretically go the distance. Depends how much we use and abuse them. Gasly's looking a bit racy. We're in fuel save mode at the moment, which is why we're not as quick as we could be, but we're not horrendously bad. Let's go back to Stroll. About to be caught by Perez and Leclerc, surely this lap. Come on, Lance. I love to take the piss out of you, but this is ridiculous. Oh, Ocon's got past Hamilton. Need to get that fuel saving done, though.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do.
Stroll finally boxes. Let's see where he comes out. Damage has been done. Decent stop. He's going to come out behind Lewis and Magnussen. Possibly. He might get out ahead of Magnussen, actually. Oh, he comes out just behind Lewis. Okay, that worked out really well for us. And the Alpine now pushing past George as well. Gasly's on a tear right now. 120.8. Yeah, we're not lapping amazingly fast right now. I'll say we are saving some fuel. I will admit to completely forgetting I was in fuel push for a little while after the restart, after the VSC. I ran it a bit longer than I intended. Let's start to normalise our pace a little bit.
And think about left 15 coast.
Yep.
Probably close to being able to stop recharging the batteries as well. Not quite there yet. At least not with George. Lewis, I think we're just about there. Let's put Lewis into neutral. See Ocon swarming all over the back, and that is Stroll trying to sneak alongside us there and gets the move done.
Just keep it up.
I mean, we came into this Grand Prix knowing our speed and our downforce levels were dropping in comparison to the rest of the grid, and we are seeing that with the pace of the Alpines and the pace of Stroll. We looked good on the softs when we were pushing like crazy. Not looking quite so good right now. Track is still getting a little bit wetter. It's going to get up to probably about 2 mil by around lap 40, according to that. George into neutral. Yeah, he's almost there. I'm going to put him into neutral at the end of the lap. Actually, looking at his level against Lewis, they're about the same. Yeah, let's put him into neutral now. Don't really want to push the tyres, not yet. Let's investigate, actually, in terms of strategy. What would happen if we were to add an extra set of inters onto the run? Would that improve our lap time or not? Or our race pace? Probably not that significantly. So that's the strategy we're running. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's 18 seconds slower. There is no point in the current conditions in going to another set of inters. So that's it. No more stops for the rest of the Grand Prix unless something dramatic happens. If we get a safety car, I'll probably throw on some fresh inters. If the track does somehow dry up enough, which I don't think it will, then we may look at going back to slicks, but yeah. We've got to do everything on track now. Going to give George free rein in this race. He showed good pace in quali. He's 3 places ahead so far. There's no reason for us to tell him to move over for Lewis. Lewis is not lapping quicker at this stage. Things can change, you know, but for now, yeah, let Russell do his thing. Watch with George for a bit. Let's take a look at lap times. We're doing 1:21.2s. We're just a little bit slower than Gasly and Hulkenberg. Yeah, everyone in front of us is just a little bit faster than us at the moment. Let's do a little bit more fuel saving with Lewis while he's sort of stuck out of position.
Understood.
Got to be wary of Magnussen behind Hamilton. He's kind of lurking in the distance. There he is. And Stroll with the move on Ocon. Is this Stroll starting a push? Given how easily he went past, he must be at least using his battery there. If not his tyres as well. See if George can become the wall again. Hold Stroll back, who was a second faster on that last lap than he was the lap before. He's straight onto the back of Russell. He's on a push. Let's give battle assist to George.
And overtake is available. Covering.
And there's an opportunity here for Lewis.
And we can drop the lift and coast for now, we'll make it up later.
Understood.
Because Ocon is falling away.
Use the overtake.
So we're going to give Lewis the opportunity to try and get back in front of Ocon.
Just push it.
And either Russell's really picked his pace up with the battle assist, or the cars in front are going slow. And it looks like the cars in front are going slow. Yeah, I mean, Russell a fraction quicker, but we're seeing slowdown from the cars in front of him. Russell's got that gap down to just a second now, so let's turn off the battle assist. Let's give him some deploy and some tyres, and let him go attacking as well.
Covering.
Hamilton goes side by side into the chicane. Have the inside for the launch into sector 2, gets it. And that's Hamilton into the points. Russell all over the back of Gasly, who has dropped off the back of Hulkenberg substantially. So maybe Gasly was on a push to get up to Hulkenberg and is now having to calm the car down a bit. Come on, George, you can get this move done here. Gasly's going defensive. Can we get him on the outside of the chicane? Yes, we can. Lewis right onto the back of Stroll. He's almost out of battery, so we're going to charge Lewis back up again.
So just charge that back.
We're going to get Russell to push on a little bit more, break away from Gasly. And see if we can get onto the back of Hulkenberg. There we go.
Back.
A little slow on the power there for Lewis. Again, we'll just take the opportunity to save a little bit more fuel while we're just cooling those tyres and building the battery up slowly. We've got a nearly 2.5 second gap to Ocon, so we've got a little bit of wiggle room here to maybe drop back a touch. And you see George on the back of Hulkenberg. Yeah, left it too late.
So happy to push now.
Yeah, copy.
We'll continue.
Just manage these tyres.
We'll continue just rebuilding a little bit like this. Lewis now Oh, the engine sounds rough. It must just be the sound of the engine in low speed then.
Some management, turn 5.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're just dropping a little bit off the back of Gasly and Stroll. That's okay. We've got plenty of time yet. Need to start thinking about getting past Nico though. So we're going to push.
And happy to pick up the push.
Coming out of the chicane and the Wall of Champions. See if we can get him on the start-finish straight. Not quite close enough for a look. Can we get him out of turn 2? Going for it. Whoa, just about. Yeah, nice. Got the move done. So Russell up to 6th. Let's see what kind of pace he's got now that he's clear of Hulkenberg and is into clean air. Keep pushing until the end of the lap. Build that little gap to Nico. There we go. Right, let's turn our attention back to Lewis.
If we could just drop back a bit.
George into peak confidence now. If we can get a couple of overtakes done on Stroll and Gasly, that'll pull us into peak confidence with Lewis. That's why I'm charging his battery up, so I can try and get them both. Russell did a 120.1 across the line, but that was the end of a pushed lap, so we'll see what he does when he crosses the line. Nearly 2 seconds faster than Nico. But that was using tyres and emptying the battery. We should pull away from Hulkenberg. It's a question of whether we can close in on Sainz and Alonso. Evening, Tony. Didn't see you pop in. Right, Gasly and Stroll have caught up to Hulkenberg. He did a 121.4 with Russell last lap. It's not fast enough yet. We are still fuel saving a little bit though, so Ocon in the background. Kind of left him for dead since we got past him.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up.
Yep.
Alright, time to go to neutral now for Lewis. Should naturally start to close that gap up a little bit, especially with Gasly squabbling with Hulkenberg. Sorry to hear you've not been feeling too good, Tony. Hope you're feeling better now. Right, 121.2 across the line. Slow lap for Alonso. Sights on the push. 119.8. That's quick. Hamilton closing in on the cars in front as well. Off to Turkey. Oh, that'd be nice. Probably be blisteringly hot. Is the heat wave still affecting that part of Europe, or is that kind of eased off a bit? Not been keeping up to date with the weather. Still 35 degrees plus. Yeah, I mean, Turkey's naturally hot anyway, or at least compared to here anyway. Right, looks like Hulkenberg's trying to respond a little bit, trying to stretch his legs. Gasly's staying right with him. Stroll keeping a watching brief right now. We're not really closing on Stroll, so let's just give a little bit of pace to the tyres.
Pick up the pace. Yep.
Oh, and now I need to retry the server. There we go. Chat's back. Yeah, it looks like Stroll's on a bit of a push as well. We're actually losing ground to Stroll, despite pushing the tyres slightly. Saving the battery. Wow, Hulkenberg is really pushing. He's close to within less than a second of Russell.
Happy to start reducing that, management.
Yeah, copy.
Let's just give old Nico a slap and tell him to back off. Yeah, the game is good. It's definitely more of a challenge than it was last time round, which is good. Speaks to increased longevity. It was going to have that anyway, with the ability to switch teams being patched in, but the races are more challenging now. So It's not going to be a case of one and done for the majority of the teams. Apart from obviously Red Bull and possibly Ferrari. Maybe Aston. I don't know what their actual pace is like that yet. I've not tried an Aston file yet just to see what their car is like. But certainly Mercedes is a challenge. And then if you go right down to the bottom of the grid, Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri are definitely a challenge. What's made it more challenging? The AI is a lot more dynamic. You heard me a moment ago talking about how Hulkenberg is pushing. They don't just drive at a uniform pace anymore. They push their tyres, they use their battery. They can sometimes have to, they sometimes burn their fuel a bit as well. So they drive, I don't want to say more erratically, but less uniformly. They will have periods where they are blisteringly quick, where they just dump their battery and their tyres and their fuel and just go for it. And then, they'll have periods where they have to back off and, work the temperatures back down again. The cost cap has been reworked and is now much more severe.
Just reduce your speed.
The cost of everything has kind of gone up. A new engine now costs you 5 million as opposed to 1 million. A new ERS is 2.5 million instead of 1 million. The cost of emergency manufacturing is extortionately high, so you've really got to budget a bit more carefully this time around. I say we had a cost cap of 130 something million, and we've only got about 45 million of that left. And we're not even halfway through the season yet. The tyre model, while it does work, I think it needs a bit of tweaking. But it's definitely a bit of a step up. There are some exploits out there that I have heard of that I'm not going to use. But they are being investigated by Frontier and should get patched out of the game. Russell is comfortably clear again. Let's put him back into top up and we'll save a bit more fuel.
Charge the pack.
Just a little bit more. We don't need to save too much more. We've still got half a race to go. So should be pretty good. Hamilton now closing back up at last onto the back of these cars in front. Almost within a second. I do kind of want to cool the tyres down just a touch before we start pushing again. But I'm wary of dropping off the back of them again. Let's have a look at lap times. 1:21.7, 1:20.6. So yeah, Hamilton doing a second a lap faster right now. His tyres in a really good window. I might just leave them like this, actually. Get close enough and then just slap on the battery and go to full push. What happened to Hamilton? It's not so much what happened to Hamilton. I made the wrong call in Q2. The track was starting to dry and I thought it was still a little bit too damp to make the switch to softs. So I stayed out for my second lap on inters, and the AI all went out on softs and knocked us out by about 3.5 seconds. So yeah, made the wrong call for tyres at the end of Q2, got eliminated and went out 14th and 15th. Decent restart, or decent start from the race. Worked up a couple of positions, and then Russell's just been better at getting through the traffic than Hamilton has on the wet tyres. So it's not a case of something necessarily happening to Hamilton, but, just a slower recovery than it was for Russell. But he's made up 5 places. He was P15 at the start. He's racing at a lower confidence level as well. So his stats aren't quite as high as he's not getting quite as much of a stat boost as Russell is. Russell's good to stop fuel saving now, I think. And we are going to go for it with Lewis. I'm actually going to push the fuel a bit as well. I want to try and get past these cars quickly.
Understood.
Use the overtake.
Understood.
Nice, up the inside of Stroll at turn 2. And immediately on the attack against Gasly. Can we get him around the outside here? Yes, we can. Beautiful, that's 2 places gained really quickly. And that puts us into peak confidence just as we get onto the back of Hulkenberg. So the confidence system, Tony, gives you a boost to your driver's stats. And there you can see that's going to go up again now that we complete this move. Boom, there you go. So the better your driver's confidence, the better they perform on the track. And, you know, conversely, the worse they're performing, the worse their stats will be. Because if you get into low confidence, you start getting negative modifiers applied to them as opposed to positive modifiers. And it makes a significant difference. You can go supremely fast when you're at peak confidence. Likewise, you can really drop off pace-wise if your confidence is average or low. You can really start to struggle against some of the AI. We just did a 1:19.0 on that lap. That's very quick. Very quick. We were nearly 3.5 seconds faster than Hulkenberg on that lap. Right, let's calm those tyres down. Put the fuel down and let's go into top up. In fact, actually, while we've got a little bit of margin, let's put both of our drivers into top up.
And just have a think about getting the pack back up.
Micromanagement, potentially a little bit more. Like I said, with the tyre model having changed to having a core temperature as well as a surface temperature, you can't just leave your tyres on full push and expect performance to hold like it would in the last game. You have to be a little bit more wary of that. Got a yellow flag out somewhere. Oh, got a red flag. Ooh, okay, restart in 6th and 7th. What happened?
Red flag, red flag.
Who crashed? Joe crashed.
Now this was the 7th corner. But oh, they can't avoid making contact.
That's
and
a bad place to
not
crash
what
your
they would have
car.
had in mind when they woke up this morning.
Right on the racing line. So, fresh inters. Make sure we do put fresh tyres on George this time, unlike Baku. And that will sort out our fuel issues as well. So, we now have a lot more freedom to attack.
Drivers have taken their positions again. Once more, they're ready to race.
I'm going to pause as soon as the lights go out.
And it's lights out.
Because
and away we go.
We don't get the opportunity to deal with any of this stuff on a restart, unfortunately, which is frustrating, but there we go. The whole grid should have gone onto fresh tyres. Yeah, pretty much. Why are my tyres at 96? I put on brand new tyres, didn't I? Why are they at 90? Unless they're tyres I used in quali. Ugh, that's annoying. Oh, god damn it. That's a crash, and that's Russell hit. That's the first corner crash that we've seen so far this year of any real significance. Let's see, what's the damage to George? He's got a penalty. Ah, great. So he caused the crash. He's got minor front wing damage. How minor? Who was it we hit? Was it Alonso? Missing an end plate. We'll see
now we've got an incident here, and as
how
I understand
bad
it,
that
George
damage
Russell's
is.
involved. So this is what happened. Look at the Mercedes. Pushing a bit too hard at this point. And you can see how the cars come together. A bitter blow too for more than one driver from the pack.
Right, Russell now way down.
Everything is okay, something feels odd.
Yeah, Hamilton up to 5th now. Russell's definitely got some work to do. But he's immediately swooped past Piastri. Wow, look at the pace! Something feels a bit odd, but he just caught and passed Piastri like he wasn't even there. And you can see that's had a big impact on his confidence being involved in that incident, although the overtake certainly helped to rebuild that a little bit. Lost the touch for a failed overtake. Bottas is going to be a little bit trickier to get past. He's going to be a bit more wily in these conditions. Lewis trying to stay with the Ferrari. We've broken away from Gasly a little bit. We're going to keep pushing. Open that gap up a little bit more. That rear wing damage doesn't seem to be that significant pace-wise at the moment, but we're stuck in a bit of a train, so it's hard to really judge. And we're pushing as well. We won't know until a few more laps, until the pace kind of settles down a bit. Right, Lewis has pretty much killed his battery. Let's go into top-up mode.
So just charge that pack.
So we can still try and have a look at Sainz. If the opportunity presents itself. We got past Bottas. Excellent stuff. There we go. So that's a nice little boost to George's confidence. Puts him into high confidence now.
Let's see what happened there. It was George Russell involved. There's the opening. And that sees them move to 15th.
There we go. So we've got to do it all over again with George. Started 14th, got up to 6th. And then, yeah, not the greatest of restarts. But he's looking aggressive right now. Just have to be wary of the fact that we're probably not stopping again, and we do have that 5-second penalty to remember about. That will affect our final lap time, or our final positional time. whoever we get in front of, we need to finish 5 seconds clear of them to stay ahead of them. We are struggling a little bit here without battery, so let's drop the tyres down, go into harvest mode.
Charge the pack.
Yeah, agree.
Lewis is just hanging on to the Ferraris, but again his tyres are getting a bit hot. Let's cool those down.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't.
I'm
fall
expecting the
off
top
tyre.
4 to break away from us. We just don't have that level of pace. But with Stroll back in 7th behind Gasly, he might get frustrated there for a while. Alonso's out of the picture thanks to George. So 5th place for Lewis is definitely on. And if something happens to one of the cars in front, maybe a collision with another one, the Ferraris hit each other or the Red Bulls hit each other, we could be looking at maybe the outside chance of getting a podium, which I wouldn't say no to. Let's ride in Russell Vision. Russell Vision. He doesn't deserve the song tonight. Would I have taken 5th at the start? Yes, absolutely I would have taken 5th at the start, given that we started 15th. Yeah, we are getting dropped by the Ferraris. I kind of expected that to happen. But if we can at least stay within touching distance, then maybe, like I said, if something happens to all of them, maybe they lock up in a corner or they have a spin. And if we're close enough, we can capitalise and take the position from them and then just try and defend it like hell.
So happy to push now.
Copy.
Let's see if we can get ourselves past De Vries here. I saw the red rim of the wheel there, and for a second I thought that that the car was running in soft tyres. I'm like, what the hell's he doing on soft? But it was the red line on the inside of the aero guard, combined with the red rim of the wheel nut. All right, let's have another little push. Got to start working our way through the field quickly again. De Vries is defending well. Defending very well. Can we go around the outside? Yeah, there we go. Got the move done. So that puts us into very high confidence. So let's see. George's stats. Getting a nice little boost. Could be better. And obviously the higher the confidence... Which is ironic saying this, considering he was almost at peak confidence when he crashed, but the higher the confidence, the lower the chance of an incident. Didn't stop him. Battery's empty again. But yeah, if you start if you get stuck behind some slower cars and you can chain a couple of overtakes together, it's amazing how much your confidence can jump up. And we saw that with Lewis when he went past Gasly. Not Gasly, sorry. Gasly, Stroll, and Hulkenberg. His confidence shot up and his pace just went through the roof. So stringing together some overtakes is a really good way to start extracting the maximum out of the car. Tyres are getting hot again. Right, let's cool them down. Let's go into harvest mode.
Let's just manage these
Sit
tyres.
behind for a lap or two.
Okay.
Get that battery back up. Hamilton's still within about a second of Sainz, which is encouraging. It's actually closing. Half a second faster than Sainz on that last lap. Only a couple of tenths off Leclerc and Perez and Verstappen. And half a second faster than Gasly. So that gap is just slowly extending. Should get Lewis to go into medium overtake. But actually we'll go into low overtake.
Need to look after the car.
Yep.
Let's not take any unnecessary risks. Meanwhile, we're still struggling to get through here. We are going to have to stop burning fuel at some point soon. Got a nice little sequence of cars in front of Sonoda that we should be able to get past. Norris, Magnussen, Albon. We've done it before, although the car wasn't damaged the first time round. Right, I'll leave you guys on this view for a second while I just go and grab a drink out of the fridge. Alright, we're almost ready to start attacking with Russell again. Just want to see what damage did we do to the gearbox. Not that much, if any. We had a brand new gearbox in there, so I can't do a direct comparison, but yeah, I don't think the gearbox really took any significant damage at all. Lucky boy. Oh, here's a chance. Let's see if we can get in front of Sainz.
Yep.
Just keep the pressure on Lewis. You can do this.
Just don't have enough pace in the car. You can see Sainz actually pulling away. I think he's starting to push to respond. The gap to Leclerc is coming down as well. Yeah, Sainz is pushing in response to us pushing against him. And that's pretty much out of battery again. All right.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up.
Understood.
Maybe the Ferraris will squabble with each other and create an opening for us.
So we are low on battery at the moment.
Understood.
Just need to make sure we keep these tyres in good nick.
Let's try and get a wriggle on with Russell now. That sounds like a really dodgy talk show segment. Get a wriggle on with Russell.
Okay, so let's start putting some pressure now on Norris.
There seems to be some great cloud of resistance.
It'd be great if we didn't hear Russell say that every night. I'm a little disappointed actually when Russell crashed we didn't hear him go sugar. Alright, very high confidence. Let's see, an overtake on Tsunoda here would be nice. I think he's trying to push to stay ahead. Yeah, he is. He's completely cancelled out our battery using his own. Just what Sainz in. Sainz has got past Leclerc.
And we'll push. Okay.
Oh, so close. Go on, get him around the outside. Ah, come on. Come on. Get him under braking. Alright, there we go. Should be able to hold him off now. Done. Whew. That was hard work.
And if we could just drop back a bit.
We've got a yellow flag somewhere. Please be a Ferrari. Or two. Or a Red Bull. That was Alonso.
Right then, we can take a look now. Now here, we're taking turn 6. The wheels just lock up there. They were just unable to do much about it.
That wasn't that bad a locker. There's nothing really.
Reduce your speed.
Max on our charge again. What's he done? A 1:19.4. That's not the fastest lap. We've done faster than that. We did a 1:19.0 with Lewis. How is that the fastest lap? It's not 1:19. That is weird. It's very weird. How did that just credit him with the fastest lap? Oh, he did get it on lap 5. Twice. Apparently. Yeah, something very screwy is going on with the fastest lap here. Right, Russell is caught up to the back of Magnussen. Need to get this move done ASAP.
Push and hold at overtake.
Yeah, copy.
No battery. Yeah, you see Russell's tyres, because we pushed them longer, they are in worse shape than pretty much everybody else on the grid. It's just keeping that watching brief on the Ferraris still comfortably ahead of Gasly. We're lapping almost a second faster a lap here. Sainz with a slow lap. Leclerc's got him back again. I missed that. If I can just get George back into peak confidence, that would be really nice. Or as Max likes to say, that would be lovely. I think overtaking Magnussen might just about do it. And then that will really help us when we go after Albon. Because not only do we need to get past Albon to get into the points, we also need to pull 5 seconds on him to stay in the points. On 21.3, it's not quick enough. Really wish we didn't have a damaged front wing. I don't know how much it's compromising our pace. Not much, but enough, I think, is the answer. Right, tyres have cooled down enough for us to put them back into
And happy to pick up the pushing level.
intense, and we can probably leave them on intense for a little while now. It's like Magnussen's pushing a little bit. 1:18.9 on the last lap. Yeah, that's a pretty quick lap. I can see now with 1:18s why we haven't got the fastest lap with a 1:19.0 for Lewis. I might try pushing Lewis actually to see if he can get the fastest lap. Need more battery before we do that though. Let's put him into harvest.
And just have a think about getting the pack back up.
And we'll have a lap or two at full push just to see if we can retake the fastest lap. George with a higher confidence level at the moment. Lewis's confidence has just been ebbing away slightly. To be expected. The longer you go without really doing anything that's going to boost confidence, the more it will just start to dribble away. It doesn't stay static. We'll see that with Russell as well. If he just stays in position too long, doesn't set fast sectors, doesn't make any overtakes, his confidence will gradually start chipping away again. I don't think it goes below high confidence. I think it only chips down to high confidence at the worst. We're back at kind of starting confidence level. Let's see if it drops below that with Lewis. Meanwhile, Russell has caught up to the back of these guys. We're about ready to go on the attack again. They're both together as well, which will make this potentially easier to get the overtakes done. We'll need less battery in theory. Not going to increase the tyre pace. We're going to leave the tyres as they are. Should be able to get the Haas at the chicane. There we do. And then can we get Albon on the exit? Looks like Albon's responding. We'll keep pushing. Up the inside. Nope. On the exit of this corner. On the run to the next chicane. Should be able to get side by side here. Yes, we can, which means we can complete the move on the exit. Oh, there we go, comfortable. Right, let's go into top up. Can we hunt down Hulkenberg? 11 laps to go once we finish this one. Alright, Lewis is ready.
Not the charge.
Yep.
Let's see if we can actually get past Sainz in the process.
And we can drop the lift and coast for now, we'll make it up later.
Understood.
Russell's made quite the charge. Yeah, well, he's gained 5 places since his accident. We have had to push him quite hard to do it. Right, let's wind everything up for Lewis. Going for the fastest lap.
Use the overtake.
Understood.
And Russell's back into peak confidence again, which is excellent. So at the very least, that will help Russell pull away from Albon and should hopefully help him close in on Hulkenberg. Lewis going to throw it around the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Gets the overtake done. That gives him a little confidence boost. Let's have a little whoop.
Really well executed.
So currently P4.
Could we even dream of maybe sneaking a podium off the second Ferrari of Leclerc here? That would be something special. To start 15th and finish 3rd, that would be fantastic. Is this fast lap worthy? Probably not. No. Oh, of course it's not. If we had dry laps, it's not going to be fastest lap, but yeah. It's because we saw that fastest lap message pop up for Verstappen, weirdly. Yeah, which still hasn't come back. Alright, well, we've got clear anyway. Let's drop those tyres down a bit. Let's go into top up. Let's just start to consolidate the position a touch and build up, ready to have a push at Leclerc again. Russell is closing. He is closing on Hulkenberg and pulling away from Albon. He was a second faster than both of them on that last lap. It's what we need. I don't know if I can get the 5 seconds that I need. Hulkenberg's with Ocon, actually. So theoretically, there's 2 there. And then pushing away from Ocon, that would put Stroll there. I think that's a little bit too much. I mean, it's what, 13 seconds to Stroll. And Stroll's not too far behind Gasly. I mean, theoretically, we could get all the way up in front of Stroll and then drop back again behind him on that penalty. But hopefully, we've got enough pace in the car to not have to worry about that. I sour the atmosphere with M&M. That was more ham and ham rather than M&M. So Lewis is going to go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Ham and ham.
No rain forecast.
Ooh. Oh. Oh, this makes things very interesting. Chance for slicks.
Overtake available.
Overtake is available.
Sainz has caught back up to Lewis.
Pick up the pace.
Evening, Chester Sound. Let me know if I read your previous message. What, if you posted it in here? I think that's the first time I've seen you post. Track is definitely drying up.
Let's start pushing them.
Let's just keep pulling the gap. So it should be 6 laps.
Yeah, rain has stopped. When do I box? Evening refill. You're late, but you're just in time for a very dramatic finish. How often do we have a dramatic finish in our races on this game?
So just charge that pack.
I think it was 5th to 1st, if memory serves, not 4th. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 5th. But yeah, it was a mighty first lap.
Charge the pack.
Alright. I'm going to box Hamilton next lap, but I'm going to box Russell this lap. Brand new softs.
Well, box.
Copy, box.
Not going to change the front wing.
Just reduce your speed.
So just let us know what you think about the conditions.
Right, we've got DRS now.
Tyres.
So DRS has been enabled. It's just petering out now.
It doesn't look quick. That looks very weird, that stop. 7.4 oh, of course, that's the 5-second penalty. Ah, so that's the penalty out of the way. Completely forgot about the penalty for a second then. So we're down in 13th. But we've got full battery, brand new softs, and the track is just about ready. We're going to go full attack on this lap.
Yeah, we just want to grow this gap.
Did I actually confirm the box? I don't know if I did. I have now, just to be on the safe side. I think I did, but...
Slippy into the box.
3.4, it's not a great stop. Another delay.
Sorry about that, Lewis. You'll be all clear on exit.
Lewis wiggling his tyres in the pit lane. I've never seen that before.
And 4 laps remain.
Not quite sure what's going on there. He's still wiggling. Alright, can Russell jump a number of cars here? See a couple coming out the pit lane. Russell's up to 10th. He's in the points. Hamilton setting a purple middle sector. There's Russell. You don't have to worry about the 5-second gap anymore now that the penalty's been served at the pit stop.
Three to go.
Lewis absolutely flying. Russell almost on the back of Hulkenberg. He'll have DRS at the next DRS straight, not this one. Fastest lap for Russell, and he's in the top 10, so that will count for the bonus point. But I think Russell is probably going to lose it to Lewis on this lap. Can we hunt down Leclerc? I think we're going to run out of battery.
So we're low on battery at the moment.
Understood. How many more laps?
Ah, Leclerc got a 1:14.2. We got a 1:14.3. We just missed it. Ah, that Ferrari is still a little bit quicker than us.
Need to introduce a small amount of lift and coast.
Come on, George, get the move done. There we go. 9th place for George. And we should have enough time to hopefully get after Ocon. We've got 2 laps. Got no battery left, so it's going to have to be done the hard way. I don't think Lewis has got enough left in the car to hunt down Leclerc. We'll keep pushing the car as much as we can. We can't go any further on fuel. But 4th place would be a hell of a result. And we've left sights for dust. We've got some traffic a bit further ahead, but I don't think it's going to come into play. We've taken a second out of Ocon. Lap and a bit to go for George. Hamilton has closed the gap a little bit. Just a little bit
One more lap.
to Leclerc. It's not enough. But he is still closing. Do not want to lose that position to Hulkenberg. Another 10th or two. It's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. We needed the DRS to stand any chance. It's not going to happen. Just got to make sure he does actually cross the line.
Introduce a little bit of lift and coast.
Understood.
Ooh,
Max
just
Verstappen
enough fuel.
Over the finish line and today's winner.
So we have taken the flag.
All right, we've got the DRS.
Really happy with that result. Thank you so much for continuing to push.
Well done, Lewis. Great drive today, mate.
Come on, George. Come on, George. No. Ninth will do. This is a decent recovery. Had to make sure he didn't run out of fuel. 14th and 15th to 9th and 4th. Yeah, and don't forget Russell had the 5-second penalty and damage to his front wing after that collision with Alonso on the restart. Alonso finishing last. He never recovered, so the damage to his car must have been a bit more significant. Let's see if we can have a look at his car. Don't see any obvious signs of damage. Must have been maybe chassis or suspension damage.
Today.
They really put in the hard work this weekend, and their reward is a well-deserved finish in the top 10.
Well, Max Verstappen can add yet another podium to his already impressive record.
4 superb wins to their name now this year, and it's been a pleasure watching them drive.
Plenty of smiles for the cameras as the drivers can let off some steam here in Montreal. And as proceedings start to wind down here, what will Mercedes have made of this result, Karun?
It was a strangely mixed weekend for them. We saw one driver put in a strong performance, but it was a different story for the other. Definitely positives there though.
And that's it for this weekend's F1 action here in Montreal.
Next time, the teams will be forging ahead at full throttle through the Styrian forest. The Austrian Grand Prix is right around the corner.
Alright, there we go. So, confirmation of the result. The fastest lap in the end went to Perez for 1:13.2, which was just that little bit faster than Leclerc. It wasn't Leclerc. I thought Leclerc got it, but it was actually Perez who got it. That was the time we saw, but it was attributed to Charles Leclerc. Yeah, something very weird going on with the fastest lap in that Grand Prix. But yeah, we just missed it. Good comeback for Lewis after a nightmare in qualifying at the end of Q2. Russell, he would have been right up there as well had it not been for the collision with Alonso on the restart after the red flag, because he was actually a place ahead of Lewis and then dropped all the way down to 15th. With damage and a penalty, he did well to fight back to 9th and get himself a couple more points. Let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship. Max, another 25 points, puts him 35 points clear of Leclerc. Perez moves above Sainz now into 3rd spot, 7 points back from Charles. Lewis stays in 5th place, but does close the gap to Carlos by 2 points. It's now 24. Fernando stays where he is. No points scored for Fernando after that collision really did some serious damage to his pace, if nothing else. George getting a couple more points to close back to within just 1 of Fernando. Good points for Stroll. That sees him consolidating 8th place. Gasly and Ocon both picking up some much needed points for Alpine. And then a point for Nico for Haas as well. So in the standings, now you can see the drivers yet to score is De Vries, Sargent, both the Alfa Romeos and Piastri. Into the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull with 44 points, maximum haul, extend their gap over Ferrari, and once again Ferrari pulling away from us. I think third's the best we're going to do this season. I can't see us catching Ferrari, especially as we're about to slow down on upgrades as well. We do have some more that are ready to be manufactured. Hopefully that will give us a bit of a performance edge, but Ferrari are definitely probably going to bring something else to the car later in the season, and we're going to start focusing on researching for next year, I think. So we are now, unfortunately, 86 points off Ferrari. It's a bit of a gap. We are 59 points clear of Aston Martin, so that is a nice little cushion just there. Alpine still in no man's land, 60 points off the back of Aston Martin, and Haas looking to break away from McLaren and Williams, decisively now. They've got an 8-point lead over McLaren, who haven't really looked like scoring at all for a while. Alfa Romeo still the only team to score. If we look at the pit stops, McLaren fastest pit stop with Lando Norris at 2.279, equal to Red Bull, but I'm guessing Lando set his first. Once again, our times do not make the top 10. We really struggled with our pit crew this season, and I am definitely going to try and hire Mr. Wheatley, I think, from Red Bull, whose stats are obscene. Let's see, in the overall standings, Red Bull again just walking away with big points. McLaren getting big points as well. Alpine doing reasonable. AlphaTauri can't score points for love nor money in the in the actual championship, but they're not doing too bad in the pit stops. They're currently sat in 5th place and pulling away from us. It's been a while now. It took us 4 races to get onto the leaderboard, and then we haven't really scored for the last 3 Grand Prix, I think. And there you see our pit stops, 1.7 tenths off with both George and Lewis. And then, we had a stuck wheel nut there, which did not do us any favours at all. Interestingly, though, you can see that the 5-second penalty does not apply to the actual pit stop time. So, lap 64, that was a 5-second pit stop, or 5-second penalty before the pit stop itself. Does not get added in. So, it just counts the actual time itself, not including the penalty. That's kind of cool to know. So there you see 15 overtakes for George, 18 failed overtakes, 5 successful defences, just the 1 failed defence. Lewis, 11 overtakes, 4 failed, 9 defences and 4 failed defences. A little bit less eventful for Lewis, but a little bit more efficient for him as well. And we didn't run Schumacher, so no points for him. That has broken our quali streak already. Plus, we also failed to reach Q3, and we failed to get 2 in the top 10 or top 8 for the guarantee as well. So, yeah, we lost quite a bit of money there, 670,000. It's not great. So let's take a look at our inbox. Did we pass inspection? Well, the front wing was destroyed thanks to that collision, so that needs to be replaced. Do we have any spare front wings? I'm not sure if we do. I've got one left. One spare left now that we've got that on there. So going into the next Grand Prix with just one spare front wing. We don't have any slots to make new wings yet, I don't think. No, we don't. We've got a lot of parts in manufacturing right now. We've got spare rear wings being made. We've got new chassis being made, new underfloors being made, new suspensions being made. So yeah, we might have to resort to the older front wing for the next race. And if it's a sprint weekend, I'm trying to remember, is Austria a sprint? Let's have a look. It's not going to tell us here, which it probably should do. Let's go to circuits. Baku was a sprint. Does that say sprint on here? Sprint weekend, it does say that. Austria is a sprint weekend. Yeah, I can see it now. The bottom right, bottom left of the box. So yeah, I think what we might do then, given that we only have the one spare front wing and we'll be under Parc Fermé regulations at the end of free practice 1, I think I'm going to take that wing off and give George the older front wing, because then we've got a couple of spares in case Lewis breaks his and we don't have to emergency manufacture, and we've also got some spares for George in case he breaks his and we don't have to do an emergency manufacture. And if we did only break one wing during practice and quali, or practice in the sprint, and then we broke one in the race, we wouldn't have a spare, so we wouldn't be able to change at all. So yeah, just for safety's sake, we're going to downgrade George's front wing for the next Grand Prix. Wouldn't have had to do that if he hadn't broken one in this Grand Prix, so that is kind of his own fault there. And then once we can free up the slots, we can start manufacturing the brand new front wing that's waiting to be built. The Mark III front wing, which is sat there waiting for a manufacturing slot. We've got to wait 3 more days. Let me check, actually, how many rear wings do I have in the warehouse now? I've got enough, I think. So let's go ahead and go to car part development, manufacturing, and let's cancel that last rear wing. We won't get the money back for it. Seems to be paid for it, we may as well collect it. We'll wait the 3 days. Okay. So the rear wing is done. Let's go to car parts. So we've got plenty of spare rear wings now. I only went with that many because we went through 2 in 2 races for Lewis. Let's go into manufacturing. And now we can start work on the Mark III front wing. So we want 6 of those. These aren't really going to give us a boost to speed, as you can see, but they are going to give us some extra downforce, improved performance in dirty air, improved brake performance, and they're going to save just a touch more weight as well. So let's confirm 6 of those. 23 days. So we'll have a couple for, let's see, we'll have 3 of those wings available for Silverstone. And technically 4, with the 4th one coming on race day. So as long as we don't destroy one over the practice weekend and quali, then we'll have 2 spares for the Grand Prix. And then we'll definitely have plenty of spares in time for Budapest. Which is good. This might be our final front wing as well. We'll see. There we go. Front wings are now in production. So we've got to wait 11 more days for another chassis. We should have 2 of those now. We do. We don't have a spare chassis. So if we damage a chassis in the next Grand Prix, we're kind of screwed. So we're going to install the new chassis on Lewis's car. We're giving Lewis the preferential treatment because he's been more consistent. He's got more points. On paper, he is the better driver, and pace-wise, he has outperformed outperformed Russell in the majority of weekends in terms of just out-and-out pace. So we'll give Lewis the new chassis. We won't have time to get it manufactured for both drivers, but this gives both of them a spare chassis for the Grand Prix now. So they've got 1 installed and 1 spare each. Again, with the sprint weekend, we want to make sure that we're going in with at least 1 spare part for every car. Because otherwise, we're going to get stuck with Parc Fermé. We're going to get stuck with having to emergency manufacture something if it breaks after FP1's finished. And we go into quali for the sprint. And that is just going to be horrendously expensive. So we're trying to avoid that situation. Let's take a look at side pods. We should be fine on side pods. Not going to make any changes there. We should be fine on underfloors. Yeah, we've got a spare underfloor. We're working on the new one. That's not going to be ready till Silverstone, I think. Suspensions. Don't have a spare suspension. We've got 1 of the brand new ones. When's the next one going to be ready? Oops. Let's see. The next one will be ready in 7 days, which is in time for the Grand Prix. So again, we're going to put that onto Lewis's car so that we've got a spare for each driver. We've got our scouting done. Here is Jonathan's stats. And this is what I mean when I say that his stats are obscene, and this is why I want to try and, poach him from Red Bull. 99, 95, 88, 99. This guy is a monster. If we compare him to Ron Meadows, there's the difference. He's actually a year younger as well. The only thing that Ron Meadows has got on him is improved leadership, but he's not so good in aptitude. His training's not as good. His processes aren't as good. He's cheaper on salary, but yeah, if we can sign this guy, he's open to negotiation. Let's see if we can sign him for the start of next season. We want him on a 5-year deal. Let's go 4 years. We want to sign him for the start of next season. So that'll reduce the buyout fee. And with Ron being out of contract, we won't have to pay to break contract either. We're going to offer him, let's see, 1.3 mil. We'll offer him a signing bonus of 130. He should accept that, I hope. And he does. So, there we go. Jonathan Wheatley will be joining us next season. We were looking at maybe getting GP as well. Let's see if we can offer GP a contract while we're in this phase. Or did we already offer him a contract? I can't remember. Race engineers, we might still be scouting him. Yeah, we're still scouting him. So 2 days to go. And we'll replace Marcus Dudley at the end of the season. Got our scouting complete on Teo Pourchaire. Let's take a look at Teo's stats. Oh, wow. Nice pace stats. His pace stats are better than... See, this is where it's a bit stupid. His pace stats are better than Oscar Piastri's. If we take a look at Piastri and then compare to Teo, look at that. I mean, Oscar's got much better control. His smoothness is slightly better. His adaptability is a little bit better. He's better at overtaking and defending. But he's got worse reactions. He's got worse cornering, worse braking than Teo. Teo's not exactly setting the world alight this year. He should be dominating F2 this season, but he's not. Oscar has been done dirty in this game in his pace stats. He should be quicker. He should be quicker than that. There we go. Confirmation on securing a contract with Jonathan Wheatley for next season. They'll be joining as our new sporting director. Good stuff. Jared Murphy has low morale. And I think this is a bug. A lot of people have reported this on the feedback section for Frontier on their website. You know, the report an issue. There's quite a few people complaining about a potential glitch with technical chief morale always being, you know, low. So that might be an actual issue that gets fixed at some point. We shall see. Oh, he's the aero chief. Okay. Now he's showing us okay. His morale, if it did dip, has certainly picked up again. Maybe he just really likes Ron and it's sad to see him go. Who knows? Low stock on side pods. Yeah, know about that. Not overly concerned about side pods. We have got some other scouting that's done. Let's have a look at Isaac's performance. Yeah, that seems to be about right for Isaac. And who else did we scout? Oh, that was it. Okay, so we've got one scout remaining to come in, I think. Who are we scouting right now? Oh, we're scouting GP, aren't we? Yeah, he's got 1 day left. So we'll advance to get GP's scouting done. There we go. Let's take a look at GP's stats. 98, 91 and 81. Let's compare him to Bono, first of all. So composure is what affects drivers' morale gains and losses. Feedback obviously is how quickly they can turn the car around. Communication, I believe, is for pit stops. If we go to GP's full profile, we should be able to see that. So communication is how fast the affinity grows. Feedback is improving change times for setups. Composure means, yeah, the higher the rating, less confidence loss from negative events, more gain from positive events. So he's pretty comparable to Bono. Let's see how he compares to Marcus Dudley. Okay, so better communication, better feedback, worse composure. I'll have to think about that one. Let's scout some more engineers. Let's see if we can find an engineer who's got really, really good composure. So we've got 4 scouts available. Let's scout Adami. Don't think I'm going to end up hiring him, but we'll scout him. Let's see, who else can we scout? Ben Michel. Actually got a face for Ben this year, as opposed to a pre-generated one. Josh and Hugh Bird, they'll be the next ones that we look at. So that's Josh and Hugh. Hugh is young as well, so we've got to take that into consideration. He's only 34 years old. Yeah, we'll see how they go. Mark Slade is really good in terms of feedback. They're getting the car set up. I think he's like a 99 in that, but I don't think his other stats are particularly good. And you can see we've got a phase for Chris Cronin this year as well. Again, not one of the pre-generated ones. And some new faces as well. William Joseph at McLaren. And Tom Stallard at McLaren as well. Right. That's our scouting done. We've got something that requires our inbox. Sponsoring Zach O'Sullivan. Oh, this is new. We've got the opportunity to sponsor a young driver. Let's have a look at this. We've identified a promising talent in F3 who would really benefit from sponsorship and support. I've attached the profile below. If you agree they have potential, I think we should become a financial sponsor and bring them into the race sim for some training. With our help, we could significantly improve their abilities and potentially build them up as a future driver for Mercedes. Ah, this is cool. I like this. I'm going to go ahead and sponsor Zach, because I've not seen that before. That's awesome. We don't have his stats. We should probably scout him, but we don't have a scout available. But we'll just have to trust that that will give us a bit of a boost to Zach, and then that's someone we can earmark as a potential young driver for the future. Right, let's advance time. New ATR period starts today. So more hours are available. What do we want to develop? I think we were going to say we were going to look at a new rear wing, weren't we? So if we put all of our hours into a new wing, so that's going to improve top speed. It's going to improve acceleration. No, not really. A little bit. Let's work on drag reduction. That's going to improve our speed and acceleration a bit more. DRS. I'm trying to find... that is going to have a negative impact. I thought it might do. Do want to improve DRS performance. Airflow sensitivity. Also having a negative effect. Let's just go with a slight improvement to dirty air tolerance, which isn't too bad. Minimum lifespan will drop a little bit of weight out of the car to boost the performance there. Just trying to see what changes are going to have an impact on acceleration, which really does need to be improved. Doesn't look like anything here is going to have a major impact on acceleration, only on speed itself. Okay, let's go for a super fast wing. And this is where, having done an intense wing earlier in the season, is helping with the fact that we are able to get some decent gains here. We're going to go with that, I think. Let me just... No, I'm going to go there. Don't want to take too much off the dirty air improvement. We do want to have something. We'll leave it like that. I'm happy with that. So, we have not enough to go intense again, but we're not planning on going intense on this one. Because I don't think we're going to make another rear wing this season. Let's see. We're at 36 days. Let's have a look. Spa is 32 days away. So we're not going to get it for Spa. But we will have it for Zandvoort and then Monza. We've got a lot of engineers available. I mean, I could really go for it, actually. Let's see. 32 days to Spa. What if we rush it? Adds a little bit extra in terms of cost. An extra, what? Nearly 700,000. We'll get it in 19 days, though. That means we'll be able to bring that to Spa. Yeah, we'll rush that one. There we go. It's going to be the last big upgrade we do this year. Let's start looking at a little bit more research as well. We've got minor technical changes to the front wing next season. We're going to lose a little bit of cooling, and we're going to lose some airflow. So let's start looking at improving airflow sensitivity quite dramatically. I do want to try and improve cooling a little bit as well. Let's go. Let's go something like that. For our first research project on front wings. There we go. We've got how many engineers left? 3. This is too expensive. Okay. Alright, let's wait till after the Grand Prix for that one. Let's see, is there anything else we can do? Side pods. Let's see, how much is a side pod research project going to take out of us financially? 1 million. We don't have enough for that either. Alright, what about a suspension? I don't think we're going to do any more suspensions. That's going to take 1.3 mil. Is there anything we can afford? Underfloor is going to be expensive, surely. Yeah, 1.45. Alright, we can't afford to do research until after the next Grand Prix. We don't have the funds. So we'll just have to wait a few days before we can start really kicking our research on for next season. That's okay. I can be patient. Gonna have to be patient. So, Marcus Dudley's contract is ending. We know about that. Ron Meadows' contract is ending. We've already got a replacement lined up for him. Jared Murphy's contract is ending. So we might have to replace him. Schumacher's contract is ending. And Hamilton's contract is ending. So we are going to have some definite contract renegotiation to do. And we'll start work on that tomorrow. We're going to call it a night here. So that's it from me. I'll be back at the same time as usual, 9 PM UK time, for our sprint weekend. In fact, actually, we'll make it slightly earlier. We'll make it 8:45. It is a sprint weekend, so it's going to be slightly longer in terms of the stream length. Plus, we might have the crash. You never know. So yeah, we'll start 8:45 tomorrow, 15 minutes earlier than normal, just to allow for the sprint race. And I hope you've enjoyed tonight's race. Good recovery after an abysmal qualifying. We managed to get some good points with Lewis and a couple of points rescued for George. Hopefully we can go into the sprint with a bit of extra pace for Lewis. He's got a couple of new parts on the car. George, not so much yet, but he will have them for the next race after that, which will be Silverstone. We should have them for Silverstone. So until then, thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back tomorrow, 8:45, for some more F1 Manager.